Meghan Markle here.
Today is June 10th, 2025. It is 5:24 a.m. I'm in the middle of editing whatever I recorded yesterday, but I'm about to wake up the kids and I'm almost done with what I'm editing. I decided to make it part 1 and part 2, but there's a good chunk that needs to finish editing. So I want to take a break from editing. Let's continue with some of the tweets that I left from yesterday. Alright, so let's pause this. I need a good laugh before bed. There's the laugh here. Could it be all that partying, drinking, no panty wearing, and swinging that caused this chronic mumbling condition? William was like, look at me, look what I've got. There's the laugh here. I'm sure he was flexing on Harry then. Alright, so let's listen. 35 seconds.
Okay, what did you think William raised?
Oh, it's very low. So when I'm editing, I'll increase the volume. I could barely hear it.
Maybe not quite the same as meeting your average university, or maybe it was, I don't know. But what was your first impression?
Well, I think when you said I actually went bright red when I made it, sort of scuffled off, feeling very shy about meeting you. But and actually when I wasn't there for quite a bit of the time initially, he wasn't there for push and speak, and so it did take a bit of time for us to get to know each other. But we did become very close friends from quite early on.
Okay, what did
Okay, sorry, I can't hear what she said, but when I'm editing, I'll increase the volume for you guys. Could not understand the second part of what she said, but there's no way I will get on national TV and basically say I acted like a fan. Turned bright red? Nah, I would have been like, he was regular to me. Was it the part where she said that she had the stuff in her room about him? But anyway, I've listened like about 3 or 4 times and I still can't understand her from start to finish. I could barely hear it, so I didn't even bother to comment on it. Another chance. There's the live here. She says, was it actually okay, actually, okay, like actually a lot though. Right from the beginning, it was blatantly obvious that she was not equipped to be a future consort. Mumbling with jazz hands. William looks embarrassed, but I don't think he's embarrassed. I mean, if they don't point it out to him, there's something wrong. He will not know. In my humble opinion, he must. Then they said they trained her for a while. That's why it took so long to for her. Whatever, they lie anyway. But he must have known that she would not be an asset to him. But remember, Princess Diana. Okay, Princess Diana was, doing things to help the institution. They didn't like it. They just wanted her to be a mannequin. So he got a mannequin.
One of the reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned, mute woman.
To just look nice, pretty next to him. So he got what he wanted. The firm got what he wanted. I even did a video a couple years ago about that. It's when Meghan got into the picture, everything changes.
The biography of the Prince of Wales, written by Jonathan Dimbleby, which, as you know, was published last year, suggested that you and your husband had very different outlooks, very different interests. Would you agree with that?
No, I think we had
a great deal of interest. We both liked people, both liked country life, both loved children, work in the cancer field, work in hospices. But I was portrayed in the media at that time, if I remember rightly, as someone, because I hadn't passed any O-levels and taken any A-levels, I was stupid. And I made the grave mistake once of saying to a child I was thick as a plank in order to ease the child's nervousness, of which it did. But that headline went all around the world, and I rather regret saying it.
He must have been desperate. Well, that I agree, because everybody he asked says no until she was the last resort. There's 3 comments under it. Let's hear. Nobody with sense wanted incandescent with rage, spoiled brat of a clown prone to domestic violence. After multiple said, nah, I'm good. Mumble was only gun left standing. Yeah, that's what I remember reading. He was indeed desperate. He broke up with her so many times. Every time he was the one initiating the breakup. He wanted a girl from his own circle. All of them rejected him. I think he also tried American Harris. Yeah, that's also named Meghan. I spoke about this, but the spelling is slightly different. I think it's 2N at the end. I still have the screenshot. Okay, I think he also tried American Harris. She said no. He had no choice to settle down for Mumble. And you know what probably pisses him off? Harry got American Meghan, but when he tried to get the American Meghan, said no. And I think that American Meghan, with the 2N at the end, married a former football player, and I think she still does charitable work. At least the screenshot that I have, hopefully I found them, is said something like that. That makes sense. She has no pride, and I think she was encouraged by her mother, who seems to be the ultimate social climber. Where has it all got them now? The Middlebones are bankrupt. They're not seen as echelons of high society as they hope, and the marriage isn't tatter. Okay, she looked older than him by 9 years. Why can someone translate for us who don't speak English? Okay, hope this helps. What the? Okay. Let me leave that alone. Alright, let's go to the next one. The squad or something. Where do they find all these videos? Alright, let's pause. The man who flew in his private jet to give the pre-hype alleged, quote, big speech, end quote, about the ocean and the environment is being called an apprentice. Ouch. Oh, is that what they're calling him? Wow. See, this is what happened. Him and Mumble, they want to show people that they know, but they don't know. And instead of saying, look, I have my platform, this is something I would like to do with it, and then bring professionals to do the things and stuff like that. But they want people to make them seem like they know everything. Oh my Lord, there's me here laughing my ass off. You got me at pre-hype. Yeah, right here, pre-hype alleged big speech. Are you sure he flew in a private jet? That has got to be a joke. Did you see the engagement they were getting from his post? Nothing wrong with him being an apprentice, especially since he is a novice. Prince Harry is an expert. Yeah, okay. Well, I will not say Harry is an expert. When he focuses on something, I think he does his homework, and then he brings people to help him. This is the difference between the two brothers. Harry never said he's an expert on anything, but when he goes places, he talks to people, he asks questions, and then ideas popping up. And then when ideas popped up, he brings the expert to help bring his ideas to life. That's what I get from Harry. Haha, that's gonna sting. People are laughing. Let's go to the next one. Still talking about Toby, the other brother. Okay, I hate the fact that William puts on army fatigue and he never served a single day. There is something almost laughable about watching Prince William scramble to overshadow his younger brother, Prince Harry. I don't know. I really don't know what goes in these people's head. Because all they see is to copy. Whatever, especially with the squad. I mean, I will say 50%, but when the squad, okay, I'm trying to get the percentage because the squad usually bring silly stuff into everything, even serious stuff. I would say majority of, I'm not gonna put a number because it depends on the squad is, even serious stuff, they make it laughable. So I'm not gonna put a number into that. A good portion of the things that the squad tweets about are things, you know, making fun of things and highlighting the positive thing and all of that. But the left behinders, I think, are looking at what the Sussex squad are making trend. Okay, we're being silly and then making things trending and having fun. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are so many professional squaddies who sometimes, maybe during their lunch break, I don't want to throw them under the bus. During their lunch break, they're on social media, on X, just throwing shades left and right. Okay, even attorneys. Okay, it's like them being a kid in some shape or form, not all, being a kid on social media, just throwing shades left and right because the others refuse to leave the Sussexes alone. However, on the lens and the left behinders, they take this thing so freaking focused and serious where they think just because the squad are joking about certain, well, I don't even think they believe the squad are joking. They take it dead serious. So, because the squad are joking and making fun of things and making it trend, what do? They parade theirs, which is William, to fit into the trend of the squad. And meanwhile, they're making the squad laugh even more. That's the way that I see it. I mean, when you look at some, you have to have a sense of humor to understand how the squad just throwing shades left and right. And at the same time, they could be very serious when it comes to important topics. You have attorneys, especially when the half sisters were, was doing her stupidity, and I was reading a couple things, some of the legal issues. I'm not a lawyer, but I'll read just to know what's going on and share with you. And then under the particular tweet, you have attorneys, squaddies, who's explaining the legal jargon or the wording of those legal issues in a more understandable way. So the institution just don't get it. They really don't, because they just want to put a facade. They look at what's trending, the squad are joking, and they made things trend, and then the left behinders take it as face value that this is what should be the trend, and then they parade the others to fit into the trend, and then the squad just look at it and laugh even more. I hope I make sense with that, because these people, they don't get reality. They just want to control people. That's what they get. Once they control people, and then they just bullshit you until you die. So they've been bullshitting forever, so they don't know how to cope with reality once they meet the squad. So this is what's happening here. The thing with Harry, which I've said so many times, because when he was a working Royals, they usually sent him places that the others, William and the top one, don't want to go.
I get all of my passion, inspiration and energy from young people. And that is from the ages of 6 or 7 in the Caribbean, when you get a 6-year-old turning around to you and telling you exactly how much damage your country and the developed world is causing them, all the way to 28, 30-year-olds who at some point in their life have already a better understanding of duty and service than I ever did at that age. Because it's all about giving back. So yeah, I think that, look, lots of people say that, oh, your job of traveling the world is wonderful. Of course it's wonderful. But when we get sent to some countries, we don't always get to see the beautiful parts. We're always there trying to deal with some of the issues, but also doing everything we can to bring people together to make change, to make positive change. And it's an absolute joy and a privilege to meet the younger generation of change makers across the world who genuinely believe in the fact that they, as a single person and as a group and as a community and as a nation, not only can change their country, but can change the world as well. And that is what keeps me going on a day-to-day basis.
So
Without, I mean, I've been a pessimist many times because of the work that we end up doing. You can be surrounded by negativity sometimes. But as I said just now, the younger generation of the world has turned me into an optimist, because they are the best connected, the most passionate generation that I think that we've ever had. And what we need to do is be able to create a platform so that they can be heard, because they have the solutions to some of the world's biggest problems.
So Harry took advantage of that. I mean, at that time, I don't think he realized it, but because they don't really care too much about Harry, they will send him places that they don't want to be. Meanwhile, what Harry was doing was understanding, adapting, and see how the other side of the world, or I would say the gate of the palace, works, how they function, the struggles, the things that they deal with, and he understands them. This is what makes the difference, in my humble opinion. If they had sent William, maybe with Harry as well, you know, to engage with the people, maybe he would have understood. But I don't think they want him to understand the little people's struggle. They want him to be exactly what he is now, like a fool, so they could control him. But Harry, on the other hand, they don't care. They were sending Harry as the facade of them, as if they care. Meanwhile, they were training Harry to actually care. Okay, it's very confusing. I don't know any other way of explaining it, but Harry grasped it and understand it. And this is what's the fruit of their labors, pretty much, both of them. Okay, he did actually serve in the Royal Air Force for 3 years. If I'm not mistaken, he showed up whenever he wants. And what's the other one? The ambulance thing. There were some things that they said, whatever. Okay, albeit in a search and rescue rather than frontline role. Prior to that, he spent almost 5 years in various training capacities between the Royal Air Force and Royal Navy. None of his roles will have required British Army combat fatigue. Let's see here. He was in part-time, I think that was something like that I understand. He was a part-time co-pilot role, and he took his protection officer with him. And this is why they were throwing the shade at Harry when he went to Afghanistan. They're saying that he went with his like bodyguard sort of things. And I'm like, the enemies don't know, they don't care. As a matter of fact, they will kill anybody. They don't care if Harry had, what do you call this, protection or anything like that. When you're in a war zone, anything happens, anything goes. So they were doing the same thing on William, what they were doing to William. Okay. He was in a part-time co-pilot role, and he took his protection officer with him, using up a space med for qualified paramedics. His colleagues hated him and called him a brazen racist. Okay, this part I don't know. SAR is dangerous just because no one was shooting at him. Whatever it is, look how they want to protect him in anything. But Harry was in the front line, and look how they're treating him. But yes, he did serve, from what I understand. People could explain more, just look in the comment section if you know, and put the timestamp. It's really good when you put the timestamp. Sometimes there's really some good comment, whether you agree with me or not, but you don't put the timestamp in what you're making reference to. Because my videos sometimes an hour long. I don't want to go to listen to everything that I've said. Put the timestamp, I go straight to it, I hear what I said, if you know, so I could have a better understanding. Sometimes I remember what I said, sometimes I don't. Okay, he served in the Royal Air Force and Air Sea. Okay, this is the thing I'm saying here. They always come to create excuses for him, but when with Harry, who literally went in the front line with the narrative that the government of the UK and the US gave him, and then now they're calling him, what is it? What's the word? A traitor. So these people are unserious. Let's go to the next tweet. Now this is a thread. I might leave that. Okay, it's 2 of them only. 2, and what is that? There's another one. Okay, so maybe I could do it. It is 5:41. Maybe this will be the only one for this video, because I have to wake up my kid soon. Someone tell that plastic face Lorraine Myers that the Sussexes then said that they wanted privacy, and you know it. So shut the F up, making up stories about Harry's wife doing an hospitality event for people to go on holiday with her. Alright, 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
So we need to listen to David Attenborough at all things. Now look, what's going on here with Meghan Markle? What's happening?
How long have we got?
I don't know.
No, well, this is quite interesting, I think, because you know we've seen Meghan sort of move into a different sort of influencer sphere, haven't we? We had With Love Meghan's show on Netflix. She's got a new social media profile which is going great guns. She's got 3 million followers on her own personal brand, and she's launched this new.
I think it's 3.7 million now. Let's see. I haven't been on that today. 3.7, I think it is. Yep, 3.7 million followers on her. I believe this is her personal IG page. 3.7, and for her business, as ever, it's 844,000 followers. Okay, so let's go back to that.
New brand as ever. However, they had a bit of issues with the trademark that she was going to call it something else, and it ended up being as ever. But she's got a new trademark for hospitality services. So she could she be the new sort of Airbnb host?
Really?
That you never knew you wanted. But she's moved into this sort of trad wife lifestyle. I mean, it's very on vogue at the moment, and I think that this. Yeah, they're still trying to find their feet, Harry and Meghan. We've seen them sort of talking about, Harry doing interviews with the BBC, talking about everything from his privacy to his court cases to sort of being ostracised from his family. But what they do have is a brand, and they have very much worked on that. And with that, they're trying to sort of create this lifestyle using the children, which is called
using the children. Well, occasionally they put the back of the head of the kids just doing, normal stuff. They're not using the children to whatever. But the other ones, the leftovers, William keep on parading his children. Well, then again, whatever.
I see at the moment, one sense talking about having your private life, and the other going to Disneyland last week and putting pictures up of your children and sort of twerking in the birthing suite as well, which caused quite a bit of a stir. I mean, I don't have necessarily a big problem with the stuff like this. It's up to them how they market themselves and use their children.
But not when they've always said they want their privacy.
Oh my God. Meghan, okay, now I see why she said about the privacy on the caption. Meghan never said that. She even elaborated on it. She said, even if she has, she show you a few pictures on her desk or something like that, that doesn't give you the right to see everything in her phone. So she selected what she wanted to share with you. Here's the Oprah thing where she answered that. That was like, what, 4 or 5 years ago?
Didn't you have an expectation that you're going to have to lose privacy?
Well, it's two things here.
That's part of the deal.
Two things here. I think everyone has a basic right to privacy. Basic, right? And we're not talking about anything that anybody else wouldn't expect. So if you're at work and you have a photograph of your child on your desk and your coworker says, "Oh my gosh, your kid's so cute, that's fantastic. Can I see your phone so I can see all the pictures of your child?" You go, "No, this is the picture I'm comfortable sharing with you." And then if they double down and say, "No, but you already showed me that one, so you have to show me everything." You know what? I'm just going to hire someone to sit in front of your house or hide in the bushes and take pictures into your backyard because you've lost your right to privacy because you shared one image with me. That's sort of the flawed argument and its operating mechanism that they're confusing people to think. I think life is about being able to share our stories and share parts of our lives that you're comfortable with. There's no one who's on Instagram or social media that would say, because I shared this one picture, that entitles you to have my entire camera roll. Go ahead, look through it. No one would want that. So it's about boundaries and it's about respect. They've created a false narrative. I've never talked about privacy.
So why these people are still talking about privacy? Meghan literally said life is about sharing what you're comfortable to share with people. I'm telling you, these people are in a tunnel vision. Whatever they focus their mind on, even if facts hit them in the face, they don't care. Meghan literally told them exactly this specific thing. She never said anything about privacy.
So it's about boundaries and it's about respect. They've created a false narrative. I mean, I've never talked about privacy.
You know, really, it's a difficult one. You cannot keep invading your own privacy, and then once you put the drawbridge down, you cannot then.
You
put that
cannot.
up.
You cannot.
That's your decision.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. They can do whatever they want to do. That's fine. But then you cannot then say, "Leave me alone."
For sure.
If you're doing that, that's the thing. Now, look, King Charles. Obviously, tripping the colour is imminent.
Yes, on Saturday.
Yeah, but there's a change for
Well,
him.
there is a change, and not unexpected, I think, because King Charles is 76 years old now.
So,
from my understanding, with Trooping the Color is the 14th, right? And then Meghan has an event with a museum where she's gonna receive an award, and it coincide with Trooping the Color or something like that. So maybe they change it so Meghan doesn't overshadow them. Stick to trying to boost Prince Bully because no one else is. He didn't even make the front page with his big speech. I just edit some part of this on that video that I just turned into part 1 and 2. That when Meghan dropped one of her videos, originally the Daily Fail had Kate on it. I didn't see the front page that they're making reference to. And then as soon as Meghan dropped her thing, they changed the picture and they put Meghan thing on the front page. All right, let's listen.
Human beings are having on the world's oceans. Royal Editor Russell Myers is here. This is something that he is hugely passionate about, isn't it? And what a way to use your platform.
For sure, and it's exactly that. I mean, he's got such an incredible profile, of course, not only being senior member of the royal family, future king, but he has...
I mean, you see how they quickly change their tune? When they talk about Meghan, is that negative thing? I mean, people need to pay attention to this kind of mind psychology thing. And then there's William, who's doing all this stupidity in the background, but as soon as they talk about his work, you know, there's the jolly, the positive things and things like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. If William truly care about what he's doing, it's a good thing. But he's so unserious. He's just throwing BS out there and expect after he says something and magically everything happen. He doesn't know the work that is put behind the thing. He should listen to some of Meghan's podcasts because there is a lot of work that goes behind a finished product that you see that seems so smoothly when the people who work in the background sometimes very minimal sleep to make sure the final product that the consumer is gonna see is flawless. He doesn't know the hard work that is put behind things.
A real profile as well, and when he's speaking about things like this, I think people do listen because he's got his Earthshot Prize Awards that's now in its 5th year.
And like one of the comments I read regarding the Earthshot, we still don't know what some of the winners have been doing or have done to receive the thing. They don't publicize it enough. And then again, I don't follow them. Maybe they do. Okay, so that's my fault. I don't follow them, so that's that.
But he was escaping to sunnier climes yesterday because he was in Monaco making a big speech at the very snappily titled the Blue Economy and Finance Forum. But it was with a real message of having, you know, a real exact...
He can't even find a word. What the hell did William talk about? Why don't they put that? Put his speech instead of them trying to rephrase things. He can't even come up with the words.
Decade to save the oceans.
Right.
This is what he's been talking about, that we are in a real period of urgency, that we have to do all we can to save the oceans. And this is what he had to say.
Together, we have signed up to an ambitious global commitment to protect 30% of land and sea by 2030. It is our best...
Wait a second. Wasn't there a documentary that... Okay. People in the UK, correct me on that. I don't think I have the clip of that. And one of the ITV, I believe, or Channel 5 in the UK, that did a documentary about the royal family lease part of their land for mining. And some people who live around those areas are complaining. Second, I've spoke about this a couple years ago, that I think the government removed some sort of a law where now people who treat the company, not people, the company who treat the sewage water can bypass certain things, and now there's sewage water that's going into the ocean. Now I see why some of the squad are saying, why don't he fix that? Why doesn't William fix that aspect instead of going to the ocean? Clean your backyard. Okay, now I see. I understand that comment now. One of the squad said that in the comment section in one of the tweets that I just edited. So this is what he's going to big ocean when he can even clean his own shit in his backyard. And I have talked about sewage water spilling into the ocean, and then in some beaches there were people who were getting sick. Go back to maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I spoke about that.
Best chance of reversing the damage done to our planet and restoring its well-being. For the future of our planet, for the future generations.
My goodness. Okay, I see Duke of Edinburgh is off to Canada. I bet the racist voter won't be going with him. Okay, let's see here. June 28th, the Duke of Edinburgh will visit Toronto. Who's Duke of Edinburgh? Will attend Canada celebration in Ottawa. Duke of Edinburgh.
Why don't they promote her more? You know, why don't they push her out a bit more? Why don't they, I don't know, random, invite journalists to come and see some of the work that she's doing a bit more? I mean, the Nepal trip recently that you went on, I think that was, again, a kind of a rare instance, and Buckingham Palace was saying, well, who would be interested to go, and they're often kind of bemused by the fact that we are interested in what she's doing.
And they were both great, and the work they were doing was interesting.
And at the time there are very few senior members of the royal family, and there's certainly very few in that kind of bracket where you can see the kind of longevity of, you know, she's midlife.
Well, I think
she's not, you know.
Yeah, and also the king I think really does value the work that they do. So if Buckingham Palace, if there's a sort of reticence there to promote her and her work more, I certainly feel that William has clocked that and is going to change that.
Whatever, okay. Oh, it's them. Duke of Edinburgh, is that them? Okay, let me look
Human beings are having on the world's oceans.
Duke, who is Duke of Edinburgh? How do you spell it? Edinburgh? Okay. Oh, it's him, Prince. Oh, is that the one they give him, but once he die, that particular peerages end with him, it doesn't pass on to his son? Okay, the current holder, Prince Edward, was created Duke in 2023 on his 59th birthday by his eldest brother, King Charles III. The dukedom had previously been granted to their father, then Prince Philip Mountbatten, on the day of his marriage to then Princess Elizabeth, the future Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, so that's him. I didn't even know. Alright, so let's see here. Is that the one I just listened to? LOL. They want Sir Sophie promoted. Okay, is that the same one I just listened to?
Why don't they promote her more? You know, why don't they push her out a bit more? Why don't they, I don't know, random, invite journalists to come and see some of the work that she's doing a bit more? I mean, the Nepal trip recently.
Okay, so that's the same thing I just listened to. Okay, at David 6, look another ugly dress. Okay, I don't want to go into that. They are just sick, nasty, lying idiots. I would like for Lorraine and Russell to show us a quote where Harry and Meghan said they were living for complete privacy. They want because it doesn't exist. Harry gave his speech on why they were stepping back, the media's constant abuse on Meghan, and the palace staying silent, condemning it. That's an ad, most likely so she can host as ever event like all those people do on Instagram inspired by her. Have you seen how beautifully she has curated her home? Okay, she will kill it as a very high-end branded event. She could have these globally, so one could have as ever wedding. Okay, OMG, lie after lie with these people. There's the rolling eye. They are furious that Harry and Meghan get so much attention. Well, they are giving Harry and Meghan the attention as well, and have so much success, and they are not part of it. They wish Harry and Meghan live a private life and were as boring as the one they pay for. There's the laugh here. So since Kate chose to share with us that she has cancer, she can't complain when someone tried to access her medical record. Medical records. That's how privacy works now. All right, gosh, Lorraine. And the thing is that shouldn't they know because they're paying for her? Should they know what's going on with her? And I heard some squad up saying, you know, with her platform, she should have used it to help cancer patient. But no. Gosh, Lorraine's hair is so thin. That hair doing a better disappearing act than Houdini. Just saying. Peace in the Middle East, homelessness is not the Sussexes who don't have identity, is the other two who are known for going on vacation. That's the only project they have ever completed successfully, and this isn't a joke. Okay, that woman don't really know how she made it in TV. They never said that. God, that makes me mad. They know. Okay, they know, because all of them fixated on the whole point of view. They know that Meghan talk about the privacy, what she meant by it. All right, and then it's not her who started it. It was Piers Morgan.
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
We need fresh and bright interviewers, broken down records. When is that show being asked? Totally boring when she does it. PR machine for the royal family. That's why she keeps getting invited to Chucky and Camilla's event. They know they're wrong, but their bosses tell them what to say and who to say it about. Can't bear her. All right, so I'm gonna stop now because it's 6 o'clock now, and I already spent 30 minutes on 4 tweets. So that's it. Maybe later on, if I have time, I'll do more. The next one that I'll be doing, once I do the next recording, will be about that. Okay, this. So that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.